How'd you do it?
Push the button in the middle.
Okay, folks, I think it's time that we can get started.
See our doctors, our dentists,
Sean,
our accountants, our
You want to start off by saying anything?
I'm getting 2 crowns.
Welcome, everyone.
We'll be back to 13:30.
There you go.
Right.
Well, welcome everyone. Thank you for coming out. If you do not know me, my name is Sean Royall. I'm the Parks and Recreation Director here on Beach Mountain. Today I'm going to be presenting to you about the Shane Outpost Park. This park was donated by the Shane family. It's located down next to Buckeye Lake, right next to the rec center. And then kind of what we're going to do after the presentation that I have, then we're going to open it up for public comments. If anybody wants to share their feelings or thoughts, any concerns, any questions, you're free to talk. And when you do speak, if you would, please come up to the podium, just state your name, and we'll go from there.
Okay, Sean, we have 2 new folks here that just moved to Beach Mountain.
Okay.
Is Larry and Linda Byrne. Right back here, raise your hand. We want to welcome. And I told them that I was real impressed the fact that they've been here a short time and they're coming to a meeting of the town thing, so we hope they'll continue to show interest in everything that goes on. And just the only reason we're sitting up here at the front is Sean asked us to. But we're the Recreation Committee, less Rory, who's not here, and Barbara's out of town. And that's it, right?
Oh, Willie Wagner.
Willie Wagner, yeah, she's, okay. But anyhow, thank y'all for coming, and we hope that all your questions can be answered and you'll be informed enough that you can go out and tell other people what the Shane Park project is all about. So thanks again.
Hopefully this will come up here. You want to advance it? Yes, where do you go to this? I'll start showing you.
Hey, Frank.
We're in a freeze over there.
My daughter Carol was surprised when she heard he was leaving. She likes to go back and he helps her so much when she's buying seafood.
Well, we did too.
Any time of year is gorgeous on Beach Mountain. It has all the 4 seasons. The leaf season is great in the fall. And then you want to come on down to Buckeye Recreation Center. You know, you can do canoeing down there, fishing, and Lake Coffee and different other opportunities. And one thing special about Buckeye right now is we have this opportunity with Shane Outdoor Park. We're calling it an Outpost to try to be a family destination.
Buckeye Recreation Center is the town's public rec facility. It's a wonderful spot right here on Buckeye Lake. We really strive to offer our community outdoor programs, the best in fitness, and just really get anybody engaged in nature. That's really our ultimate goal, is to experience the high country and the fun stuff that we have here in our backyard.
Buckeye Lake is a result of the town needing to expand their water treatment facilities, and this was in the mid-'80s. The town took on the project of building the lake here and the water treatment plant here. We found out that we could ask the state to stock with trout, which they've done. People fish down here. We have boats that you can secure through the recreation facility. It's just truly a beautiful spot.
The Shade Project is something the town has really looking to embark on is something extremely special. I think it's going to give our residents and visitors here something unlike anywhere else that Beach Mountain has to offer. And the park is going to have some new amenities that are new to this town. Tent camping is one of them that we're really excited about. Water play features in the creek. You know, I don't know any other way to really experience nature the best way than getting right in the water and being into cool mountain temperatures.
Dr. Shane and his wife Susan are great folks, and philanthropic is kind of their middle name, I think. And they bought this property in the 70s, I think, from when Carolina Caribbean went bankrupt and pieces of land were sold off at an auction sale.
Dr. Shane was emphatic when we started talking about how to design the amenities for the outdoor center. He remembered his family and how they played in the creek, the sounds of the nature, also camping out. He wanted other families to enjoy rustic camping, and that's one of the amenities we hope to offer here in the Shane Outdoor Park.
With their donation, it's going to enable us to expand and have a beautiful park, beautiful facility that, you know, will last forever and just give an added dimension to Beach Mountain that we haven't had in the past.
The project's going to be in 3 phases. Stage 1, we're looking at doing a parking lot and also a water feature with a pump house that kids and people are going to be able to play in. Phase number 2, that's really where we're going to start getting into the recreation side. We're going to build a bathroom facility, our campsites, our natural play areas. We're going to be linking it together with the trail system that we're currently working on that's going to be called Buckeye Lake Loop, which is going to actually circle the entire lake and meet up with the Falls Trail and also the recreation center.
And the third and final phase will be the amphitheater, outdoor amphitheater for events such as educational series, music series, etc. We have parking up at the Buckeye Rec Center. So we're very excited about this, and this will be probably the most major recreational development since the Rec Center in 2006.
One of the challenges that we faced with this project is our planning aspect. What did we want to do on this property and really how to make it into fruition. The next is a financial standpoint. This is going to be a big commitment, a part of the town.
We have to get the town thinking about how we're going to do something, what we want to do there, plan, have architectural drawings of it, and then present that to the community as such to get everybody on the same page. But most of all, get the town council to decide they're willing to fund this project.
The importance of Shane Park to me is it emphasizes family on Beach Mountain. Beach Mountain people associate with ski season, they associate it with different things. We have hiking, trails. We're trying to create family opportunities to come and bond together.
We want to have a place where a father and son can come and enjoy doing something together.
With this project, really what we're looking to do is to create memories for families long into the future. That was one of the things that Dr. Shane expressed to me was his fond memories of his kids being in the stream, and that's what we want to get for our future as well.
Nice job.
Very good.
Sean did it on himself,
Yeah.
but he had a little help from a nice guy on the mountain, Glenn Schweitzer, who's a videographer and does all this, and he lives in Franklin, Tennessee. He's done it all for nothing, and I don't know how much something like that would cost us, but
That's really nice.
he's been a big contributor and a big backer.
Oh, make sure guys, when you speak in the mic, get closer so they're
So a little background on this park. As we were saying, in 2017, Dr. Ronald and Susan Shane, they donated this parcel of land. They've been talking to the town for several years about donating the land, and they wanted it specific for recreation. That was the intended use, and that is what we were going after. The park is to host the first legal tent campsite on Beach Mountain. It's going to have natural play areas, as we discussed, picnic shelters, bathrooms, a low ropes challenge course, open play, water feature, and also provide additional lake access, fishing and canoeing, an amphitheater and stage, and also connect to a new hiking mountain bike trail system that we actually did receive a grant for. So that recreation trail project grant is about $95,000, and so we've got that grant already, and we will start construction hopefully this year. So again, the purpose of the park is to promote an active and healthy outdoor lifestyle, to create safe and accessible camping area for families. Now, one of the questions that we get a lot of times is, where can we camp on this mountain? And we always have to tell them, you have to go off the mountain. We don't want to do that. We want to have a nice spot right here. Is to provide activities for handicap users as well. So another way just to be more inclusive, getting everybody out. And continue with the vision and growth of Beach Mountain recreation opportunities. So also, it's open to residents and tourists. All public are welcome all year long. To continue on, we at the Rec Center, we've been doing a lot more outreach programs. We partner with Avery 4-H. They bring their summer camp to us as well for special programming. We're doing stuff with WAMIs, Watauga, Avery, Mitchell, Yancey counties, where it's outreach to young kids who just have more impoverished. So we're looking to grow with more of our offerings, our programs, provide places for Boy Scout or Girl Scouts, attract more visitors to Buckeye Rec Center. That's a big one. I mean, really, you have a park like this, I think you just want to attract more people to the public rec facilities. But also, there are potential grant opportunities for other town departments. Kate Gimenez with the TDA has kind of mentioned some things to me, so I don't know what she has in plan, but I'm all for it. The building of this park, it does fit exactly in with the goals of our master plan. Beach Mountain becomes a well-known and praised recreation destination locally, regionally, and even nationally. Beach Mountain rec facilities, indoor and outdoor, stay second to none in terms of quality, maintenance, availability, and friendliness. And that's one of our key things at the Rec Center, is keeping everything up to date, and also looking for, when we expand, to expand properly. Beach Mountain will encourage participation in recreation programs. Beach Mountain will have an interconnected trail network that links parks, neighborhoods, and communities. So we're right on target there. Beach Mountain's rec endeavors are fiscally responsible as well. So kind of go back into building what we need, not just what we want, but something that's actually a need. And so that's where we had a committee kind of coming up with some ideas of what this park needs to represent. So working with the Shane family and that ad hoc committee, that's where we came up with the plan for this park. Here's just kind of a map of the park. I know there's a laser here. So parking lot area, as the lake starts coming in at this side, so that's where the amphitheater and stage would be. I've just met with Beanstalk, and they were looking at doing a kind of natural play area in the tree line right in here. And as we started looking at everything, they were showing some pictures. Really cool, some of the ideas that they have. Kind of, if you can imagine, tree house almost connected by ropes and different ladders, but all for kids and still safe. So some park amenities. Again, as we've mentioned a few times, it's the first legal tent campsites. And let's definitely hone in on that. It is for tents only, it's not for RVs. A natural play challenge course, and that's what I was saying, kind of the playgrounds and tree houses in the woods. It's really neat. A parking lot, we've got to have a place for people to actually get to and park for this area. Oops, sorry, wrong button. The amphitheater and stage. So we're looking at that for special programs, concerts. Our summer camp can do things. We have just other agencies, like you're saying, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, come in and do some really cool things. Also, I can see weddings starting to pop up down there more. We're starting to have more of a wedding, I guess, population around with the Overlook Barn, and I can see this area being another outlet for them. Picnic shelters, Creekside waterfront play feature, potential for a new trail on Buckeye Creek Road. So that's not the trail that I was just discussing, but there's more land out there that potentially could have a new trail on as well. And also the bathrooms for the park and trail users. That one's actually, it's not fancy, but it's very needed. Once you're out, it's a great thing to have some bathrooms and facilities when you need them. So the water feature. This is kind of what the look of it would be. We want to keep it natural. It's going to have a flow into a waterfall and stream that leads back into it. So this is a feature. It's going to be actually workable on the other side. So it's function other than just need to be there. The town, I guess about 3 years ago, there's a well drilled right there. So we do have to pump the water back into the lake somehow. And, this is a way to kind of mask it, but in a nice, pretty way. But also we can play in it, which is going to be a lot of fun. So here was, just so you can kind of get an idea of the natural playground. This one over here, if you can imagine all of that surrounded by rhododendron and other trees that are on the site already, that's kind of what Beanstalk had in mind when we were looking at it. The lay of land is really neat because it's got some old natural dried up creek bed area, so it's very flowy. And then out in the open, we do something similar to this. Again, right now we're just kind of planning stage, nothing set, but I think all it would be really fun. I've seen a few different examples of this over here, and it's really neat. Camping sites. So as we were saying, tent camp only, no RV camping. Through this, we would do a permit process. So you would come to the rec center, you fill out a permit. We would also turn that permit into the police station. That way we can kind of monitor and have a little bit more legality side to it, and have them also patrol the area. That's one of the questions we've received a few times, is how are we going to keep this safe? Police will patrol. We will be having a camp fee. We do not have fees set up yet, but we will be charging to use these. Not only that, but so right now we're going to start with about 6 or 7 sites. Just kind of see as it grows. Currently, the sites that we're going to put in are going to be with a tent pad. So if you can imagine kind of this one down here at the bottom, kind of square, a grill and picnic table. So everything is going to be centralized. We're not going to just let somebody go camp somewhere on the grounds. That's not going to be allowed. Right now, sites will be limited to 6 people. So if you have more, you're going to rent more sites. And then also we will limit the nights that they can stay. So that's kind of a way for us again to monitor and keep the park under check. The amphitheater stage. So that's, I don't know, that's really neat over here. I just thought it was really beautiful, and imagine Buckeye Lake behind it. It's very nice. As we were saying, beneficial for summer camp, outdoor programs, presentations with wildlife agencies. We do a lot of programs out there that we do reach out with North Carolina Wildlife. So looking to do different things with that. The possible concert series, weddings, really just a tourist attraction to, if you want to have a birthday party out there, it can be a numerous amount of things. Maybe plays or shows, movie nights, just whatever somebody can think of would be great. Additional amenities. As we were saying, the bathrooms and showers for campers and users is all alike. Also, one of the questions that everybody is asking about, fares, what's going on with that? So with the campsites going on, we would be looking at putting bear-proof trash cans located at the campsite, especially in kind of a large area next to the bathroom facility. We'll have on-site parking, more picnic shelters, the trail access to the lake, and also future trails as well. So here's some possible conflicts and concerns that people have just been mentioning to us over the past year as we've been talking about this project. The biggest one is the wildlife, the bear mostly. So a few things that we've kind of discussed. The biggest is really education. We've got to educate people how to be in nature, how to coexist with whether it be bear, or deer, or squirrel, whatever. Not keeping food in your tent. We're going to have bear boxes and bear-proof trash cans, trying to keep everything away. So again, it's all about education. We'll have signs up, anything we can do. Again, limited night stay at the campsites. One of the concerns has been proximity to Buckeye Lake. And referring to that is, if you didn't know, Buckeye Lake is also the town's drinking resource, or drinking water resource. So having a bathroom facility next to the lake that close, some people have kind of asked questions on it. So as this project goes, we'll definitely have this engineered. We'll have it'll be under a septic system, which is already on right next to it. It's not on site, but close. So that's to address kind of the bathroom situations. Also, it's called Flood Zone X. So it's actually not in a flood zone. It's next to it because the bathrooms are above where the actual flood zone is. Maintenance and cleaning. This would be rec staff. We will be handling all of this. Currently we have 2 people in that position, and they cover all of our trails and parks. So they will also be the ones in charge of cleaning this one. We'll probably be looking at having to up that cleaning a little bit more as we get campers in, just to make sure everything is spick and span and ready to go for the next set of visitors. The cost of the park, of course, this is always a concern because money is troublesome sometimes. The biggest one right now, we're applying for a park grant. It stands for Parks and Recreation Trust Fund. It's a $500,000 grant, one-to-one match. So I was just telling Tim before the meeting, looking at our new budget for this project is about $760,000. So our portion was right around $390,000, which last year we have already raised close to $100,000. So we're really close to it. The town has already given $200,000. That's to go into the water feature. That unfortunately is not going to be able to be used for part of the grant because any construction we do prior to the project or being awarded the grant, we can't count that as in-kind match. Another concern, emergency contact. So as I was saying, police will be patrolling this area. Also, the Buckeye staff, we're available during the business hours. Police around, and then also emergency phone located at the bathroom. And depending on what service provider you have, there is cell phone service down there. AT&T, maybe not. Maintenance. So again, this is kind of one of the under the concerns, but Beach Mountain Parks and Rec staff will maintain the park. Other than just trash pickup, it's also campsite cleanup, mowing, landscaping, a little bit of everything. Staff currently visit the park each time or 3 times a week. That's what they're doing right now, just to visit all of our parks. So this one will still be on that. This one with the campsites, we may have a little bit more of a maintenance schedule for them. So we're going to be looking at what else we can do. The really nice thing with the playground area, one of our staff is a certified playground inspector. So that's something we can do in-house. That just as an inspection is about $600 to $800. So one of our staff members, he is certified and he can do that. That's a plus. So, like I was saying, with the park grant information, it's one-to-one match. This all just got changed in the last day after this was turned in. So it's not seeking $450. We're down just a little bit. So we're under $400,000 of what we're having to raise for our match portion of this grant. And then this number of 97,000 is up to about 99.8 or something. So it is right at $100,000 as of a week ago, I guess.
Actually, Monday, we got
Monday. Okay. So talking about money, so fundraisers. Last summer, we hosted a Shane Outpost Park benefit dinner at Overlook Barn. They donated the space for us. We set up and we had, kind of a special invite, just inviting people all around the town. We have mailed out pledge cards, and we've actually received quite a bit of money through that. We've contacted potential corporate sponsors as well, and the Beach Mountain also we're hosting different events throughout the whole year. The next one that's coming up is brand new for us. It's called the In Cold Mud, so the mud run on Wild Iris. It's going to have all these obstacles, and so that was going to be pretty neat. The Beach Mountain Enduro, this year will be the 3rd year of that one. For our portion, that brings in about $7,000. The Cooler 5, it used to be Cool 5. We're going to change it up a little bit. So it's now a 5K rather than 5 miles. And so we're just trying to find a way of kind of revamping some of these events to draw more attention and a little bit more just participation to it as well. Also, we do a shag dance, and we're going to be offering a shag dance in the summer this time. Last year we did the first one is in November, kind of off time, but we still made a little bit of money, a couple thousand, or I think about 1,000. But hopefully shag dance in the summertime will go really well. And I thank you for coming out. Court, any questions? And if you do, please come up here to the mic.
Just a real quick,
Okay.
you can all hear mine now, I'm sure.
You gotta put this in before there's.
I got you. The grant money, at one point, they were pulling the grants and not, whatever happened with that?
Yes, so what Carol is referring to, earlier this year, it was the State Bill 821, I believe. Basically, that has been tabled. Yes, I couldn't tell you how it was exactly done, but speaking to our representative, we're clear. Yes, the grant is still there. It wasn't just a part of it, it's also Clearwater Management Trust Fund money. So it was a lot of money that towns all over North Carolina really use. So it was kind of a scary moment, but we're in the clear for that one now. Yes.
What's the liability of the town on this property and the people that are down there? If there is an accident or an animal that attacks somebody or a rape of the campers or things of that nature?
Sure. So the town's still covered by their insurance policy, so there's no additional, I guess, liability or insurance scare because we're still covered under everything that we have. Or, Tim, if you want to expound on it more.
Sean did pretty good. We currently have trails, so if there are accidents happen on trails, it's the same thing as down there. As far as addressing the second part of your question, in case of people down there by ourselves, we will have an emergency phone down there, so that would be a precaution, but the town does not incur any additional liability or insurance costs because of this activity, because it's covered under our general liability and recreation now.
Another question. Campers come from around the state, or maybe around the country to visit here. It is an isolated area down there by Buckeye Lake, and there are homes that are down there, and they have the potential, not saying all campers are bad, but some are. And the control of that for those people that live down there for break-ins and things of that nature cannot be monitored 24 hours a day. If I was a homeowner down there, I'd be very concerned about having foreigners, in quotes, campers on the ground. How are you going to address that when you say...
Sean, can I take this one on? Sure. Okay, well, first of all, the people that we bring to Beach Mountain, we think are a little cut above. And this is not going to be advertised in campground books or anything else around the world. The things that he outlined a little while ago, different ways, limiting the amount of stay. One of the other things that we've hit around a little bit is that we are considering that you need to buy a recreation pass to Buckeye in order to be able to rent one of these. Now, we don't have them in place yet. Of course, we have annual passes, we have daily passes, we may do a weekly pass, but anything can happen anytime. But with monitoring it like we do, and we're not opening this to the homeless population. We're not opening it to anybody from anywhere. The whole reason for this is to provide something else for the people that come to Beach Mountain, own property here, and it's not going to be a deal that we're pushing for people to come up and camp. We're hoping that those that take advantage of this will be people that are already here, own property, or whatever, or a family, is spending time with grandma and grandpa, things like that. This is a ticklish situation, I'm sure that you all consider, but anything can happen, but I think with our staff, our town, and thinking it through, that we're going to make sure before it's all said and done that we've taken every precaution.
I'll just add to what the chairman said. In the permits, we'll probably have something put on their campsite so that somebody walking through, a police officer or rec staff, will know they're permitted to be there, and those who are not, permitted. We'll also have their names and phone number, email, on contact information. So can we guarantee there won't be somebody who's not supposed to be there? No, we can't guarantee that, but we can guarantee we can get them out of there shortly, because when people camp there, we'll tell them what other campers should have as well, so they should be able to recognize that.
I've had a lot of...
I'm Nick Wilson, by the way. I live here full-time on Charter Hills Road.
I've had the same concerns. And then I was reminded that this is probably the only designated campsite in North Carolina that's going to be monitored by the town police. It's inside the town. The town will know when people are camping there. The town will monitor it anyhow. The police will include that in their rounds, and you're not going to find campsites that are as secure as what we're proposing.
You mentioned limited camp days or nights. What is that going to be? I mean, can someone come there and spend a month during the summer?
2 to 3 nights is what.
Yes.
2 to 3 nights. And
Another question, who provides the tents for the campsite?
We might double team on this. Fred and I were just talking about it this morning. There's some desire that we provide some kind of canvas tents or something that folks don't have to bring their own tents. That hadn't quite been ironed out yet. We were thinking that people would bring their own or rent, so probably some combination of all three. You know, if the only thing I'm a little bit hesitant from, that I told Fred this morning about from the town staff side, if we actually put up tents that are out there and they get torn up or not maintained, then that's a problem. So some combination of all three, but definitely you'll be able to bring your tent, you know, put it out there. We may have tents for rent. You know, one thing, this is, you know, everything we do also, we try to encourage, you know, businesses to have some kind of things too. So I was telling Fred, some businesses might have tents, sleeping bags, camping gear for sale. So this should be an outlet to, you know, spur the economy a little bit too. I'm not saying it'd be a lot of money, but it would be another outlet for the businesses who are trying to make it up here.
Is there going to be some opportunity for smaller donations in memory or honor of someone? Right now, I think the smallest is the $5,000, yes? Yes?
No, you can give anything you want.
Well, yeah, I know, but a specific something.
Talking about name and opportunity?
Yes, name and opportunity. A bench, a tree, a water fountain, something.
Yes, so Trez, one of the things that we talked about was doing kind of a wall or a placard, so if people, you know, give to a certain amount, you know, names on it, kind of similar at Buckeye, we have the parades out in front of the playground.
Yeah,
So
something like
very
that.
similar to that down at the
So it could be in memory of somebody?
Just
Okay.
to follow up on that, probably, we're talking about on the bathroom wall, maybe put a big tree with leaves, and maybe $250 for a leaf, or, you know, something like that to go through and do that. So, and if you have something we haven't thought of, we have big opportunities, but I think last time too, we also sent out a 3-year pledge card, but we do have a round of pledge cards, the smaller ones, I don't think we sent out yet, they were waiting a little bit longer, so, and you can do donations over a 3-year time period if you want to. We're very accommodating, so, and if you have an idea that something that you like to see out there that we haven't thought of, that's pretty good.
I'm laughing because you said on the bathroom wall. Now, what does this connote, right? You know, what's written on
It's on the
bathroom
outside.
walls? Call somebody, you know? Okay. On the outside as a decorative, not a, yes.
Oh, I know. Will people be able to call and reserve a tent site for a certain weekend of the summer or
Yes, since it's on a permit, you would be able to reserve it.
ahead of time?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, on that, if you call reserve, you'll probably have to pay ahead of time, you can't just call. And so,
You mentioned money being sometimes a problem. Have you given there's nothing on this plan here that tells you about the annual cost and budget for running this park. And what, we've ran into problems with budgeting for the Buckeye Recreational Center years ago. Will this end up being another albatross that we'll face here? What is the financial picture?
As far as operational, Sean's actually requesting one additional person this year in his budget. So for general maintenance, so part of that will be taken in there. There will be additional electrical costs, that type of thing. As far as regular maintenance, you know, maybe an extra $2,000 a year in electricity. If you already have that employee, there'll be annual building maintenance, you know, shingles and things that come off. But I don't think this is not going to be a huge obligation or any kind of debt service associated with this. There is no tax increase for this building. It's through donation, so it has none of that going along with it. So I think that's a partial answer they make, but there shouldn't be a huge operational cost. There will be some in maintenance. The initial cost will be the most, and then it'll just flow into our annual budget and operating costs and long-term planning. So we're looking at making these bathrooms really sturdy and to take a lot of abuse and that type of thing, which hopefully they won't get too much. So we should be in good shape on that.
Then the recommendation is to have a budget, operating budget prepared before we get going on this thing, because it's a little bit of pie in the sky right now.
In the bathrooms, are there showers?
Yes.
Okay, and how many stalled showers are you going to have?
Actually, the
Two.
that's on here is the plans that are, oh, there they are. I think 2 stalls in each shower for both men and women, and then also the men's will have a urinal.
Okay. The second thing is the activities on the lake itself. Are we having canoes, and can people bring their own kayaks and things like that to be in the lake, to be doing recreational activities?
Yes, so the lake will still be an area for fishing, canoeing. Now, as for boats, you have to take our boats out. That's a state rule. And we're limited to 5 boats on that lake. So currently we have a pedal boat, 3 canoes, and a kayak.
Okay, when you're at a campsite, you're also looking at lake activities for children to be in the water and being, water friendly. Are we allowing swimming in the lake now?
No swimming in the lake, but the creek that feeds the lake, you can be in that. And that's part of the water feature.
Okay, can I say something? Creek. I have a cut that I got from falling on one of the creeks, and within 3 hours, I had a red line going up my arm.
I don't know if we can really answer that. That's a medical question. We encourage people to be aware of first aid items and that kind of thing. Basically just be aware of basic first aid. If you have emergency contacts, you have something wrong. Like I said, we'll have an emergency phone. Somebody can get to it. We'll alert the police department or somebody to come and check it out. Fire department, etc. So.
Have potential fire issues been addressed in the plan?
Yes, I guess you're speaking for the fires at campsites. As we get the campsites built, there will be a designated fire spot. So think of the cast iron ring. So the fire has to be in that. We're possibly doing some campsites that wouldn't be as formal as the picnic shelter or the picnic table and the pad. Those you'd probably have no campfire. So when they fill out the permit, if they want a fire, they would check that. So they would be looking for a spot that has the fire ring with it, and also there'd be a centralized fire pit next to the amphitheater and stage that we've been looking at, because that's where the current fire pit is. We don't want to just get rid of it. Again, it kind of goes back into if there's organizations, Boy Scouts doing a merit badge program, having a fire going. So that's how we're addressing fires right now. So there's no open fire. It would have to be in designated spots. And does that answer?
And if there's a fire hazard like extreme dry conditions, any kind of fires will be prohibited, and that'll be noticed when they check in, because we could have a drought or something like that. And if we have higher winds, so there'll be times that no fires are permitted.
Has the fire chief been involved in the planning?
Yes. He's looked at the plans as far as right now for turnarounds for medical equipment and fire trucks and that type of thing. He'll probably need to be contacted a little bit more about other general things, but when we looked at the parking lot layout and as far as where you come in and out, he was involved in that, make sure trucks could get in and out and you could actually get people down there.
Will there be a fire hydrant down there, or a couple of them?
They're already close by. There probably won't be one in the parking lot down there that I know of, but it'll be close enough. As close as they are to your house or my house, so that they can hook up to them. But there's a fire hydrant down there at the bottom of Pinnacle Ridge Road where it comes into Buckeye Creek Road, and there are a couple around the Buckeye Rec Center right now. So we have a lot of those in the fire department.
So in terms of parking, the campers, will they park in the 22 spots?
Yes, I would use campers and hikers, because you'll be able to use that area as a trailhead as well.
So is there a plan for additional parking?
For additional parking, you can still park on Buckeye Creek Road. There's a few additional spots there next to the fishing trail access trail, which that trail will also link to this once everything's built.
So
that area is probably another almost 20, you could probably put about 20 cars up on that parking lot.
So you're looking around 42 spots?
Yes.
Give or take total? So with the campers, how many cars can they have per campsite?
We hadn't determined that yet. We're thinking maybe one per campsite, and they could meet and park somewhere else or whatever. No, the idea is not to bring 1,000 people to camp in one site, Wagner. The idea is to have a little family gathering, to be able to camp outside and all these rules and regulations that they're talking about, and they've thought out a lot of different things in the process, can all be kind of fine-tuned as we get closer to it. But the parking is, and parking's always going to be a problem on Beach Mountain.
Well, I wasn't
Okay,
concerned about the
places.
campers. I was more concerned about, when you do have campers, and then you have special events down there, is there going to be adequate parking?
area.
Can I answer that? I think if we were going to have like a scheduled major event, we're talking we're going to have 300 or 400 people, we might not allow camping that weekend. We might, you can walk out for a weekend. So if we were, on this ski resort, they had like 3 bands coming. If we had 3 special things, we might say, okay, well, those 3 weekends, we're blocking out and had no campers to try to avoid that.
And also, we still have the rec center not far away. And the rec committee has kind of talked for years about having a golf cart to shuttle people, so that could even be another potential. And once the new road's cut in next to the tennis court, we'll also have additional parking on the ball field. So we could get a parking. Sorry.
Sean, I have a question and a comment. The 100,000 that you have, is that cash in hand, or is that cash plus the pledge commitments? Including the pledge.
That's some of both. There's some pledges, but the majority of it, probably 80 to 90% is cash in hand, the rest pledges.
So 100,000 in total.
Correct.
Okay, and then to go back to the, and I think Fred touched a little on this, the quality of the campers themselves. I'm assuming that there would be some responsible adult age 25 or whatever. In other words, a 15-year-old kid couldn't come up here and run a campsite, I'm assuming, right?
No, I mean, I would think we'd make it at least 18 and up to sign the permit. It needs to be someone legal to be with it.
All y'all's concerns are well taken and they're appreciated, so keep them coming. If you go home tonight and you think about something after this, don't hesitate to call Sean or Tim or say, I think every car down there needs to have a yellow bumper on it. If you think that, whatever. I'm just saying, whatever, that we're putting this all together and it's kind of a basic overall plan that we're working with. And in turn, as it comes down to the nitty gritty when we get all this doing, I'm sure that there'll be everything covered, but please don't hesitate. Whether it's Nick wanting a budget or somebody wanting to make sure we don't write on the bathroom walls or all these other things, I think you got to have a little confidence in our staff because they really, really think hard. And then these people on the recreation committee, good Lord, they run it through and stomp on it and raise it up the flagpole and do a great job of thinking everything through really, really thoroughly. And so the combination of everything together and your input as we go through this process is very important, and that's part of why we invited y'all to come today. Thank you for all your comments.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to add that 2 of our largest donors, the O'Connells and the Shanes, have both put in significant dollars in addition to Dr. Shane's donation of the land as well. And we're working right now, the town actually sent out letters to all our vendors. We've had $3,500 come in from people who do business with the town. We're in the process of calling them back now, so I'm hoping that we can get a few tens of thousands of dollars off of people we do business with as well.
Can you give us an update on when we might know something on the trust grant?
Yes. So 2019, the application is due on May 1st. We would not hear back till probably about August of this year. We did not receive the grant last year, so we're reapplying.
You have any feeling on it this year based on comments from last year?
Honestly, Frank, I couldn't really say much of that. We did meet with our representative, Judy Francis. She came and met with Tim and myself and really told us what we did not score well on and what to work and improve on for this year's grant cycle.
So we can truly say today to her or him, whatever it is, we've got 75% of the money raised that we feel like we need matching grants on. Is that correct? With the town's pledge commitment and the money in hand?
Again, I can't use that $200,000 that they earmarked last year for the water feature because if anything's no.
Well, let me clarify that a little bit. Probably only 125 for the water feature, so the other 75 can be used.
So we got about 50%, 45 to 50%.
But when when he talked about the grant, we reduced what we were applying for too because we're putting the water feature in ahead of time.
Yes.
So we're about 70% of the money we need, to match the grant. I
Okay,
think
that's good.
the other day when I was figuring, the figures changed a little bit, but ideally, we would need to raise about another $150,000, somewhere, in that range to have everything going well.
Tim, in the same vein, the town has invited Ray Russell, our newly elected representative, to come this Saturday morning at 8:30 to have all of you all come and meet him and express anything you'd like. And we're really, really fortunate. We have two legislative people, Deanna Ballard and Ray Russell, that are friends of Beach Mountain. And so please come out Saturday morning. It's at the store, and meet Ray Russell and express to him anything you'd like. But we're hoping that he will be able to help us in some of these aspects of trying to get the money.
I've got a meeting to go to, but you guys did a nice job on this presentation.
Thanks, Roger.
My name is Lynn Smith. Has anybody given any thought to the geodesic dome that just sits down there and does nothing anymore? Yeah, where the old Genesis is.
She was asking about the dome where Genesis used to be down by Buckeye. Leslie called me a few weeks ago, and she is able to give educational programs down there to children, and she did that in the past before the whole other stuff. And so she asked if she would be able to go ahead and do educational programs in the dome again. She's not keeping animals outside or anything like that. She will have animals inside. And by the NC Wildlife ordinance, statute, whatever it is, somebody has to be there as a caretaker to the animals. So for the summer, she is Tim and Bob Pudney and John Merritt are going to go, and they need to inspect the dome to make sure that it's in good shape. It hasn't been used in a while. It's in good shape, fire-wise and construction-wise and all that stuff. And once that's all done, then she'll be having educational programs down there for the summer.
And one thing I will also note, this spring, we are going to actually break ground on the park. We're going to start building the water feature, and then we're looking to, hopefully by the fall, we're going to have at least 4 campsites up and running. We're not going to have the bathroom located or up and running yet. However, there is a pavilion close by, and then also the rec center's not too far away. So we really want to show that we are progressing and we're moving forward with this project and getting things started.
Sounds good.
Sean, tell them a little bit more about, there's going to be a hiking trail that we already have a grant we've received that's going to go all the way around the lake down there. And it'll be incorporated into Shane Park in particular, but it's a great asset, and you'll be able to traverse all the way around, and something we've wanted for a long time.
Yes, so right now we're just calling it Buckeye Lake Loop. It'll add about 2.5 miles worth of trail. It will connect with current Falls Trail and also the rec center. As Fred said, it will actually circle the entire lake so you can get 360 degrees around the water. Multi-use trail. Some of the other ideas with the trail, just potential like a kid disc golf course or some more educational components inside. So really, it's kind of just a trail is going to be happening. Where we go from there is kind of up to us what to take it to. But I think also there's really future for more trail next to this park.
Well, the hiking trail that Fred was just talking about, is it going to be in addition to, or is it going to be a part of going through the actual site we're talking about?
So let me get back to the map right here. And so again, this is kind of just a concept map. But if you're looking up in this area, so that's kind of where the trail will be coming through. So the trail would go through the Shane Park, but then off to around the entire lake, and then connecting with the Falls Trail. So yes, it will connect to Shane Park, run through it, and then exit out kind of down in this bottom corner where the amphitheater is.
Is there a concern about hikers walking through and you have kids in their camping gear and they're stuffing their tents, that people that aren't camping there potentially could be a thief. I mean, I hate to use the word, but I know those kind of
Yeah.
things happen when you have
I would say
easy
it's
accessibility
the-
to that kind of stuff.
Yes, I would say it's the same concern as you'd have at any campground. So again, it's education.
The reason I'm saying that, I've experienced that,
Yeah.
so.
And if, with the parking lot right there, if somebody really does have something valuable, they can throw it back in their car, lock it up. So again, and I mean, I like to think as much as everybody else, we're in a pretty safe spot, but of course, you always have to think of the other, so.
I like it. Good program.
I only have one other suggestion, that if any of the campers bring dogs, that they show proof of, that they've shots or rabies, or especially if they're spending the night with other people and other animals.
That's a good idea. Yeah, that's a good idea. I hadn't thought of that.
So it is dog friendly.
That's what I'm assuming, yes.
Camping is.
Sean and I that's one thing we haven't really discussed too much about pet friendly, that type of thing, so we may need to look into more of that.
It's mentioned a little bit, but again, as Fred was kind of saying earlier, some of the extremely fine details haven't fully been ironed out, that's one, but we're very dog friendly on this mountain, so I wouldn't see us trying not to be with this, but having papers, of course, that'd be a great way to do it. Yeah, and we do have a system where you can register your dog here for the bar park as well, so it kind of fall in that same line.
Should have a doggy poop bag on site too.
Yep, we'll have that.
That's true, yeah.
And require
We'll
that.
probably have some of those, 2 or 3 of those. I'm very familiar with doggy poop bag stations from the coast. We had them at every beach access.
Yeah.
And so we'll probably have them at trail. I think you might already have some at the trailheads, don't you? Or, yeah, so we'll continue that.
When do we know on the grant? What time after you submit this? When do they, yes or no that?
August, September.
August, so
Yeah.
we'll know that pretty quickly then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Are there any other questions, comments?
We hope we're in good shape for the grant, because last year we were competing with, was it Watauga County or Boone?
I guess it's Watauga
County. They received a $417,000 grant, and so typically, part of doesn't have big grants in all parts. They try to divide it up among states. So unless we have another big competitor, and this is the second year we applied, sometimes you have to apply as many as 3 years to get the grant. So, but by having, last year when we applied, we didn't have any cash on hand at all. So this year we've got 100,000, after this summer, if we don't get the grant, if we have another 100,000, after a while, they can't really turn us down. So, but I'm being very positive. So I'm saying we're going to get it this time.
Well, the reality is they'll see the town commitment, they'll see the, the people commitment to it, and I think that speaks well for it.
Definitely, yeah. The more money that we raise, contributions and donations one thing, but then residents or I guess individual contributions mean a great deal to them, because really this board takes into consideration what the residents of the beach will want.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, good.
If anybody knows an REI CEO or a Bass Pro Shop CEO or something like that who wants to name our amphitheater, if you've got a cousin, nephew, aunt, uncle, or fifth cousin, something, just let us know and we'll try to get in touch with them as well.
It's a good idea. Build the house, guy from Bass up at the top.
Johnny Morris.
On Oz Road.
No.
I was going to say, duck to that one.
That was a rumor.
We're pretty lucky that we have a good connection with Dr. Jerry Davis and Jeff Davis. They're friends with Johnny Morris, the Bass Pro, and incidentally, he's actually helped sponsor our kids fishing tournament the last couple of years. But that's something that I'm sure is in the back of a lot of folks' minds. So, but anyhow, we'll keep working on it. The most important part of this whole thing, other than raising money, is the fact that the Shanes gifted us this property. And just for a little background on it, so you'll know, they bought this off the Carolina Caribbean bankruptcy in the mid-'70s, and it's sat out there. They actually let the town park stuff on it and make a mess there a few times with building materials, and it's been cleaned up at least 3 times and then used again when they built the, most recently, the new water plant. They used it for a kind of a marshalling yard and everything, and the Shanes have been outstanding to do this, but they didn't just give it to us out to begin with. They've been watching us, and they've been watching the town to see that the town does good things, which they have, and it's kind of like once they thought we could handle it, they gifted it to us. So it's been a long process and thought process in the Shane's mind, and we finally got to that point. And we're grateful to them, very much so, for giving us this additional great property.
Well, if there's no other comments, Fred, if you'd like to adjourn.
Okay, folks, thank you all very, very much for coming. And it's been great. Larry and Linda, we're glad to have you here and all the other folks around. These two men in the front, I don't know whether they're from the CIA or the FBI or where, but you can introduce yourself.
We're from the ADJOURNMENT.
We're real glad to have you. Okay.
Thank you for
Thank
coming.
you, thank you. Appreciate you coming, appreciate your interest, and if there's no further questions, keep in mind what I said. If you got anything after you leave here, call and let us know what your ideas are, because we're welcome anything possible. And if that's all, have a good evening and drive carefully.
Well done.
I thought it went really well, Fred.
What?
I thought it went really well.
Yeah. No,